Hi everyone, and welcome to our album review for the RBL Posse's banging album, A Lesson to Be Learned. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
And this here is the Classic Quest podcast, the show where we break down albums track by track, giving our thoughts and opinions on every single song.
And it's like the After Midnight Special or something around here. It's all nice and dark, and
it is real
it's
dark.
Very hot. It's very hot.
So dark that we can get into the nitty gritty of the RBL Posse's A Lesson to Be Learned.
That's right.
And that's the kind of album we talk about here as we do the reviews. And you may be going, why is it dark? Well, Google Montreal weather this week. It's awfully hot. Like, it's very hot. And we bought an air conditioner in the other room so we can sleep. It's not helpful in this room right now, which is like on the other side of that wall that you can't see. But anyway, it's so hot that adding the light would add several degrees and make this a lot literally harder to do.
Yeah.
And y'all don't want us to be irritable and rushing. As it is, we are definitely only doing the first half of this album, and this is going to be maybe the shortest first half ever.
Yeah, we're going to wait a couple of days for like the heat
wave.
warning to
Plus,
go down.
We got a whole holiday coming up on the 24th, so we have time to like get 24th is the Quebec holiday of our birthday.
Yeah,
that's right. It's a week before Canada's birthday. You see what Quebec did there. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is you'll get part 2 after when the heat's gone, and we're doing this for you because why are we doing this? We're doing this because Carl wanted us to talk about this album. Carl's one of our patrons, and we're already really late, and we're late on everything. We know we're late on everything.
Yeah.
But we're getting through it, and we owed him this, and the heat was not enough to stop us from getting into it. Plus, this album was very enjoyable, and so I just had a lot of fun listening to it, so that was real cool. But we do, before we get into all that, it's a little bit of a self-plug time. So I make music myself. I have a track coming out on the 24th, actually. I've also released some stuff recently. All the links are in the description in this video. You can check me out. If you dig what I do, follow me on Spotify. That'll be real fresh. Also, if you like this album review format and you dig what this channel represents and the kinds of peoples we is, you can check us out on Patreon and support us for as little as $1 a month. That would be real nice of you. On that note, let's get into why we're talking about the RBL Posse's A Lesson to Be Learned project. And the answer is because one of the patron powers was used, and Mr. Carl said, I want you to review this album that, not a lot of people talk about.
Mm-hmm. I sure hadn't heard of them.
And I had never heard of them either. And then we went into it, and I'm like, that's fair. I'd never heard of them. I really enjoyed listening to them.
And this album, A Lesson to Be Learned, came out on September 16th, 1992. And, I mean, I know some people hail, those couple, early 90s to be just like the best, the golden years, the icing on the cake. So I'm always excited to listen to stuff from, that specific, couple of years.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just kind of like one of those ones where we went in blind, I guess, on my end at least. So It was cool. I can tell you that just off the jump, the first time I listened to this album, I did not like it as much as a couple of days later. The more I listened to this album, the more I really liked the sound and the overall style of what they did grew on me. And it's got this real niceness to it, which we'll all get into. Otherwise, as far as I can tell, the RBL Posse was 2 dudes at this point. And I mean, I'm basing this off of Wikipedia. It wasn't the clearest. It says that there is Black C, who is currently still with us, and there is Mr. C, who is no longer with us, which was a sad story that I read up a little bit on. I found some article that went into detail.
And Hitman, he comes in I don't know when he comes in. I think he comes. But he also has unfortunately been killed by gun violence.
But I don't know if he was in the group at the time of this album or if he was just affiliated with the group after. I'm not really sure. It wasn't that clear.
The timeline.
It's one of those groups where the whole wiki page fits into a couple paragraphs, and when you really dig deeper, there is interview stuff. But
and it sounds like people should know about these guys because of all the gang violence that was happening, and that that they seem to be associated with, and
also possibly that they were just in an I don't know why. Y'all can maybe tell us. I mean,
and Black Sea lost an eye in a drive-by, just a whole, just crazy.
And then when apparently Mr. C was like a really well behaved fellow that was just like a music nerd and like stayed back home, studied, kind of dug through the crates a bit, was really into that, and it was more Black C who maybe lived up a certain kind of life.
Okay.
On a stake of mistaken identity, ended up with Mr. C being killed in a bad situation. I mean, that's how I understood Black C telling the story, and just the irony of that moment was really heavy on him. Either way, like Black Sea effectively, as I understand it, migrated away from a certain distribution scheme from, well, you could say he's more the drug dealer turned rapper. I don't want to say stereotype, but like listening to how he described his story, it may as well have been 50 Cent or any one of these other dudes. Like, I did a thing, I went to jail,
that's just like,
and then I came out and I saw music as a way to do another thing. And meanwhile, the whole time I could rap, and then he links up with the next people and starts writing shit. Like, I believe, what I had read is he had written the really fun Bammer Weed song before, like, the group had actually come together. Again, I just kind of pieced this together from the little bit of research I did. Mostly, I was curious about who was in the group, because it wasn't, like, very clear. And there are 5 dudes on the cover.
Yeah, that's the confusing thing. I was like, but wait, how many dudes are in the actual group if there's, like, 5 guys on the cover? I'm like, who are these
honestly
other guys? I don't know.
Couldn't tell you who was who on the cover. I'll be honest, if there were music videos, I didn't watch them. At this time, I haven't even finished reviewing the whole album. I'll be honest, I still have half of it to do. I have listened to the whole thing though. But yeah, it's a really cool cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like basic. It's like 5 guys, chilling and like posing on like the cover, and there's like, it's very urban. There's like buildings around. It's very gray. There's like some graffiti on like the buildings, but other than that, like,
I feel like it's just really well shot in a way that communicates a lot about the environment, but also their unity. Like they're almost in a uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I just finished reading a Black Panther book. I see a bunch of dudes dressed all in black, kind of in uniform, looking tough and strong. I'm like, that's just kind of what's popping out at me.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just overreaching. Sometimes when you just read something, your brain overreaches a bit. But then in the environment, it's kind of rough. It's showing what it looks like what it really looks like.
But they're like soldiers. They are a posse, one might call them. Yeah,
apparently it's ruthless by law is what RBL stands for. But man, I just look at that and I'm like, there's just so much, like, the paint is decaying and like it just looks like the kind of place you honestly don't want to be.
It's the ghetto, and like they talk about it, they make reference to it,
like,
so I assume that's
so
kind
bright.
of like a life, but it's
you see what I mean?
So
like,
gray,
it's so like, brightly lit. Unlike everyone else where it's dark and gritty and all, like how often I feel like you just get this like zoomed in down to like seeing the peeling paint kind of crap on the cover. I feel like usually there's some effort.
Maybe they're really trying to shine a spotlight.
That's what I mean.
Like
that's why I really like this cover. I feel like it made like no effort to beautify the environment. It was like, yo, they gave us this bullshit. This is the bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was really strong, especially with, if you want to, A Lesson to Be Learned is a cool title. It tells you right away that this album is meant to teach you something in some way or another. I mean, that's what I took from the title.
Yeah.
I was expecting some knowledge. I don't have a lot more to say.
Yeah. Well, you want to get into the first song?
It's called Intro. This is a really cool introduction. I like that who Herm Lewis is. I didn't know him to, like, quickly Googling it, didn't seem like it was like a sample. It felt more like this was like a feature or some kind of collab they did. I might be wrong entirely. What did you think of this introduction though?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I mean, especially, I like the intro to the intro as well. We've got Black C, and he says, "This Black Chris and Mr. C from RBL Posse," so it's these 2 guys. "And this tape is dedicated to all the fallen soldiers. You might hear drugs and violence on this tape, but don't let it influence you. So peep game." So I like that he's kind of like, this is what we're doing, but you don't have to do this. Like, make your own choices, and like, but he's also he's not condoning drugs and violence. Is basically what he's saying.
You know what this really is? This is the following content you're about to may appear dangerous. It's that warning. Mm-hmm. It's like, listen, we going in raw. but that doesn't mean you should copy us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's real. So, like, I think a lot about the modern landscape of comedy and how these comics want to act offensive in the sake of a joke and put the onus of responsibility on the person listening to the comedy to know the difference between we're serious or not.
Mm.
And here what you're having is them, the very first thing they do on this album, going, listen, we aren't serious in the sense of go do this. You know, like we're managing your expectations. And honestly, my like thoughts to the whole comedy community, every comic out there is, add the fucking 2 seconds at the beginning, say this is a joke. Problem solved. None of y'all get persecuted no more. I mean, probably still because y'all don't understand what's offensive, but that's neither here nor there. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to say this one, it just seems like really like inspirational. And I feel like it's a really smart move by putting this like message like right at the very beginning of the album. And then, you know, just like, you know, what it goes on about, there's, you know, warning about issues as a black man and people, and, you know, just, you know, if we work together, we can be a powerful force. And like, that's just kind of like the general, like, you know, it's like the same thing basically as Black Lives Matter, like coming together, being strong, and just, you know, having that like strength and like shining light on issues that are relevant, that are affecting you and, you know, the people that you care about. So, I mean, it's super relevant to today. This came out in 1992, and it's still, unfortunately, the same issue that's going on. And then it's followed by, like, this, like, lovely, like, shoop shoop song that's featured at the end, and I really like that. And I really like the whole song overall. And it's, like, just, like, a really fantastic start. It kind of, you know, gives you, like, that, hey, like, just because we're doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. And then it's just kind of like, hey, let's be better together. Let's, you know, join forces and, you know, see what we can do to bring down, like, this, like, terror that we're constantly facing. So it's really just that. It's a great warning, it's a great message, and it's a great sound. So 5 on 5 for me.
I really liked it too. I feel like it's an interesting way to start it. It's almost like, listen, we're gonna get into some real stuff, but before we do, let's talk about why these things exist. In a sense, it's almost like, imagine if everything in life did come with this like contextual stuff. And this is a relevant topic because I believe it was, what is it, Gone with the Wind is getting pulled off HBO Max, and they basically want to put the movie back on with the introduction that's on this album, or like an equivalent to it. This little, it's optional. You can always skip this shit. Even with a record or a vinyl, you can go to track 2.
Yep.
But at the same time, when you first listen to it, I guess when it's most impactful, it's just to survive the difficulties of these ghetto circumstances, we must motivate and respect each other, because the system is causing considerable damage to the black man. And that's real facts. I mean, basically, we're reading book after book about, like, proof to the pudding of that circumstance, whether it's housing market zoning laws, whether it's all the stuff related to segregation / desegregation, whether it's just the wealth distribution or how money gets moved around or how people get targeted via education, how the police respond to stuff, slave labor in prisons, all those different ways that you could look at it. I mean, there's a lot of evidence for it now, but still there's a lot of, like, even if you think to, like, the CIA doing the stuff with the crack and whatnot in the hood, dropping out crates of guns and drugs to distribute stuff into the neighborhood, like, it's just...
Yep.
It's a system causing considerable damage to the black man. And it's almost like it never stopped. Only white people for a minute patted themselves on the back and said racism is dead for some reason. And now we're finding out it wasn't dead. I mean, I guess I'd like to think I was aware that it wasn't dead, but there was like a period in my life where I was that fool that would have been spouting some shit like, yeah, but statistically speaking, it's better than it was. Which is a stupid argument when you realize fucking I can't breathe becomes a real thing, you know, like a thing.
Yeah.
It's said over and over again, and the response is nothing. So the whole, like, context of today and now, hearing like these words, like living in this ghetto environment is a challenge every day, so we must organize to survive.
Yep.
And then I just read a Black Panther book. Like, it was kind of documenting the whole story of it, of how Huey and them got together and how like they kind of rose up and what their core tenets, written by this white journalist dude that hung out with them. It was a really fascinating read. It's called The Black Panthers by, I can't remember the name of the dudes, but it's right here. It's dark. Gene Marine. I highly recommend this shit. It's fucking fire. So just listening to like the tenets of what the Black Panther ideology was and seeing this message here, and like this is San Francisco, Oakland is like what? They're next to each other. They're the same thing. I don't fucking know.
They're all in California.
I just looked at a map.
Like...
It looks like they're on opposite sides of a fucking bay. I don't really know that much of the area, but to me, that's like fucking close enough to say that they're real close to each other. So I thought that was super nifty, just the way these things connected and aligned for this moment in my life. Because the Black Panthers was literally organizing to survive, and it calling out the system is out to manipulate you and me, and we better recognize it because they want us as prisoners. And I'm like, that's true, because they can use them to make some monies off of that shit, right? And if you follow the dollars, you'll always see the evil is what the evil is. Use knowledge and experience to recognize the negative activities. I'm like, this is just smart shit. Like, this is facts. This is how revolution happens, through knowledge and unity. That's causing total destructions in our communities, living and surviving under these unfortunate circumstances, and being black is difficult. A difficulty I personally will never understand, obviously. I'm a white dude in North America. But I guess my empathy of understanding the level of suffering that exists is growing enough to see that and at least know that it's a real thing, and that there's some part of my life that can never really get it. And seeing, just having to like I realized I don't have to live with this anxious feeling all the day that I might die over some dumb shit. And like the levels of the micro moments, like a micro moment per level, I started realizing that the amount of anxiety that I feel in each little moment of my life is like astronomically smaller than another person. So no wonder I get to sit there and think on my dorky shit. I'm blessed like that, and it's unfortunate that this is the way of the world. At least I can do what we can to fight the shit the way that we're learning to fight the shit. Cooperating with each other, right? And how we can elevate the obstacles, but we must take a stand and be strong. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to go completely line for line through anything else we're going to talk about tonight on this review, because as we'll come to see, I have some feedback about the need to doing that.
Yeah.
But I felt like every word of this was impactful. It was really powerful, like just really seeing this like almost mantra in like a bullet point form for how to unify and organize our thoughts so that we are not completely taken out as a people in a time when I know that these are bad areas to be living in. Like 92 is probably really racist up in Cali as far as police times goes, right? Like, we're not talking about body cameras. So all I'm saying is I thought this, and then an Aretha Franklin thingy at the end, which was whatever for me, but it was nice. It was pretty beautiful to listen to, don't get me wrong. I thought it was just such a strong emotional experience. It is almost nothing like the rest of the album, to be honest. Like, it's just some fucking intro, but it is that beautiful like warning of how to do things right. But hold up, before we get into our shit, So I think the level of social responsibility that got added there is commendable enough that more of us should even be able to take that lesson of a good use of an intro, ignoring our egos and shit. And so, dope, 4.5 on 5. Plus the musicality and shit's nice. He does come off a bit like a preacher man preaching, but that's what you kind of want in a preacher man moment. Truth is, I'm a little goofy, everyone. You gave your grade, right?
Yep.
I'm a little goofy, everyone, but I certainly ain't no joke. Things I never thought in my life I would hear. The Brass Monkey song done anywhere else. I don't even know what the Brass Monkey song is. He just samples Brass Monkey.
Yeah.
So they sample, because I wasn't sure if it was sampling what sampled Brass Monkey or if it just sampled Brass Monkey. Either way, I'm like, Brass Monkey. Wait a second. And then you hear, what do you hear? You hear fucking Rakim. I ain't no joke. And I'm like, this is bizarre. Am I saying I don't like it? No, I am not saying I don't like it. But I realized in that moment that there might just be songs that are so iconically what they are.
Yep.
That it might be a little bit too hard for my brain to ever listen to this particular track and not be like, brass monkey, doo doo, that funky monkey, doo doo doo, brass monkey, chunky, that funky monkey, brass monkey, blah blah blah. I don't know any other words, but either way, I heard that every fucking time. Even though the beat changed and everything, I couldn't like stop the part of my brain that was because brass monkey is one of the greatest things to happen on earth. Okay, is it a great song? I don't really know. It just is. It's just wonderful for what it is. It's so weird. But it's still beautiful to hear that mixed with the Rakim sample.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, once you get past it and you course correct yourself back onto the point of this track, I'm still saying you shouldn't do it, but they did it and it was nice.
Yeah.
What do you think about this song?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I mean, there's definitely like sick samples and like sick beat, and then like the whole thing is just like an amalgamation of greatness. It's like it's so much fun, and it's basically just like showing off sick rhymes. Don't mess with them. This is definitely like one of those songs where I picture people breakdancing on a street corner somewhere and like a bunch of people like around cheering them on. It's just like a fun song, and I don't really think that they're saying anything like too important yet, but that they need to be taken seriously as a rapper. That's pretty much, you know, what they're saying. And they're from San Francisco, but they're not gay, so they're just letting you know that, in case you know, thought that they were, because San Francisco is, you know, it's pretty gay, but they're not, no homo, making that clear. Thanks, buddies. So I give this a 4.4 on 5. It's got a really great beat, and they rap really well on it.
Fair enough. So the first thing I noticed about these two men is good luck telling them apart. So if Genius is wrong, I'm wrong. I could not tell their voices apart personally. I mean, I could do it while I'm listening to it, but their flows are really like similar. Like both these dudes is coming in with basically the same style of flow.
Okay.
I don't know how to even define this flow. I know what it is when I hear it, because when I heard these two dudes rapping like Black C stepping through, kicking ass, and all you punk motherfuckers, I hate you with a passion. I can't do it like proper, but like there's this way that he like says every line, and he cuts it in a way where he like chops off the beginning and the end of like where normally people will hug into the pocket, giving this kind of rushed offbeat little bit of a flow. And I really love it. Like if you put a beat down, I could inevitably with some practice like spit this flow proper. And this flow is everywhere. So it's really cool to like go back to 92 and hear like a early version of this flow. Like it's just I don't know how if you guys fully get what I'm meaning, but I know that anybody watching this is a fan and is probably like, this is what it's called. And you guys can put that comment down and give me the better language. That's fine. But it's this off-timiness that I really like. And another group that had it in a more like jump to like 20 whatever modern times is SOBXRBE, which comes from Vallejo, California, which is also part of like the same fucking general area. And I thought their flow was so cool. Like I remember listening to it and just thinking this shit is like cocky. The flow, like this, it's unapologetic. It just comes through with this ruthlessness, almost this dry fucking ruthlessness. Like the tonality is flat. Like they're not even trying to like fucking sing or do some shit. Nah, it's just almost like the rawest version of pure storytelling being dropped down. And that's what it is. Black C stepping through, kicking ass, and all you punk motherfuckers, I hate you with a passion, because you play with a small deck, and for the test, your ass get checked. People in the SFC at 10% love me, 90% hate me, and that's oh motherfucking K. Maybe not so much of a story, but it's kind of driven in that narrative kind of format, where it's like, yo, I had this shit to say on my mind. I'm Black C, and I'm kicking ass, and all these motherfuckers out there cannot stand a man like me, but you know what? That's oh motherfucking K. That's amazing. I really like it when people throw motherfucking into okay. It's just A+ every single time. Anyway, it's a jack, and when I'm in black, and if you got a crack sack, your ass getting jacked for that, and it's a shame, because I do this thing, and it's the way you gotta be in this motherfucking dope game. And it's interesting because right after this like fucking beautiful intro of peace and harmony. It's like, y'all want to fuck me up, and if you sell drugs, I'm knocking you out, and I gotta do what the fuck I gotta do. Yo, people want to come through mugging, you gotta flex on your chest, so start slugging in a motherfucking street. 10 brothers a ghetto boxer and couldn't fuck with me. Blink blink to the chin, a right left uppercut, now his ass got broke in. And I'm like, it's fucking him telling me a story, okay? I have heard people tell me stories. This man is just telling a story. He's like, literally, that's all it is. And the story happened to rhyme and fit the verse. But that's the whole... every track on this album, I feel, even the ones that are more, focused on themes that are a little less, I'm going to call this in the vein of, I don't want to say generic, but it's very typical sounding. Motherfuckers don't like me. I do what I gotta do because the hood environment requires me to be this type of a person. And then a descriptive sense of violence to prove he's a legitimate person. However, can we give props to a man willing to come in with fists? All things considered, let's all be real. Guns is cowardly because there's a distance. I know what I'm saying as a guy who's never fucking shot guns. But flat out, I would shoot a person far faster than I would punch them in the face. Why? Because I could not die by shooting the dude. But if I punched a person in the face, I now have to fight this person. And that scares the shit out of me. I feel like...
Yeah, I've just seen too many people get, beat to death in TV shows and movies and stuff. And
that looks like way worse. Nah, fuck it.
I'd rather take a bullet than be beat to death
and
like that.
And then, the act of doing it. I mean, it's so, boop, whatever. You ever watched how somebody boxes a person in the face and then after they're, ice on their knuckles? I saw one of those and said, I'm not a fighter, yo. I'll put it on some muscle now, getting myself ready, because you know what, I realized you can't go to a protest and run from the cops if you can't fucking run. But end of the day, I'm just not a fighter, but it's big respect to the ghetto boxing style. The fact is, he's literally getting up in people's faces and boxing them out and shit. And I had to give him a kudos on that. People should have known that if you're trying to slug with him, it ain't no joke. And then you hear that kind of play out. Then Mr. C comes through, and like I said, just listening to it offhand, it's very similar to me. Not that, again, their voices are different. One of them's deeper than the other one. You can clearly tell them apart. I just couldn't tell you who's who right now. Anyway, now watch me coming down. Coming unos, dos to the 3. It's Mr. C from the SFC, which is their little spot. That's cool. It's also where... they don't smoke the Bammer weed. Anyway, I'm just saying. But you don't really hear me, though. And I love that. You don't really hear me, though. I feel like that's one of those lines that people just lace around hip-hop. I literally fucking took it and put that on the song I'm releasing on Wednesday. But you don't hear me, though. I did that because it's such a cool fucking line. And I just love the fact that... yeah, it's true. If you think about it, I did do that. Anyway, that's right. Song's coming out on Wednesday. Anyway... but hearing that there, it was really cool to me. It's just one of those things where I feel like wherever you're at with it, whatever, it's one of those universal. I don't remember who the original one who said it is. Let me know who the original "you don't really hear me though" person is. I don't care if it's that exact verbiage. Y'all know what the fuck I mean. So you got beat down when you rolled through Frisco, thinking it was cool, but you're nothing but a fool. So it's time for the fool to get schooled, but don't let that be a setback. At least you didn't get Jack with a chrome plate. Get it? No type of role model to look to. I tried Magic Johnson, and now he's through. Oh, because I guess at that point a certain thing was discovered about that man that people were a little less thrilled about.
I mean, but hey,
that's what happened
he's
at
still
that
going.
time. He is. He's
undetectable.
Still out there.
Doing something right.
Yeah, he shows up every now and again, and he looks just like you'd expect him to. But I guess it's cool he didn't die. That's why I don't care if you die. That's the next line too. Anyway, it's really good, and I feel like the way to me what really stands out is the flow. Just the way that he's rhyming out, thinking it was cool. You're nothing but a fool, so it's okay for the fool to get schooled. Don't let that be a setback. At least he didn't get Jack with a chrome plate to get. No type of role model to look to. I tried Magic Johnson, now he's through. Just the way he does that shit. And I can't do it like them because, again, it's a very new flow in terms of my vocal delivery skills. But at the end of the day, I'm really admiring the technical proficiency, the flat airiness of it. Both of them just do it. It's real solid. Third verse is alright. Keeps coming in with the same kind of shit. In my opinion, it's not that we're not, it's not distinct. The bars aren't fine. But none of these bars to me are, inherently super, next level quotable. They're just more fun. Like, because in CFC we always roll how deep. Chris, how deep? Deeper than that fat ass bitch. She can suck my motherfucking dick. And all you gangsters, pranksters, and even big banksters mashing through my hood, I should spank you. You got a problem with me? I see your pockets is fat, so I think I should jack. So it's time to put my mask on, get my 9MM, and then get my blast on. I'm not taking no shorts. I just feels like this fucking guy ranting at me. I like ranting videos. You know those like videos where dudes just rant at you for a couple minutes, like, you can do it. Another one. I mean, DJ Khaled's is funny, but effectively, this
Does he
is
still make his like
no
key lessons and
he's got kids now and a wife. He's
right.
got to be all daddy man now. Anyway, he's boring. Ever since the world found out he don't eat no pussy, it just feels like DJ Khaled's career disappeared. It's like women don't want him.
he lost the key to life.
Anyway, now a lot of people think that people from the city of the Bay is strictly gay. To be fair, it's a good assumption. I had no idea there was a fucking hood there until I really thought about it on this album. Having reviewed all these people there, it wasn't really until I was reading this Black Panthers book at the same time as listening to this album, these two things coincided in my life. And I'm like, oh shit. It's a really different place than what I've pictured, because my mom went to San Francisco and da-da-da-da-da, you know? And then I'm like, it just never, in all of the time I've done any of the album reviews, really considered where the Bay Area was, okay? Like, I knew what it is. I never really thought about it. And that it's the same place that all the gay people's at. And I'm not hating on anyone here. It's part of the lyrical content. It is a perception thing. It's kind of...
And, like, maybe, I mean, San Francisco, in my mind, yeah, it's one of the things that I would say, like, if somebody was like, what would you say San Francisco's known for? I'd be like, gay people.
Celebrities.
Full House.
Software companies.
And...
we are totally going in different directions.
But mountains.
Since then, I feel like I've been educated, and it's really interesting. Because when it goes, because all the around the, I'm not going to say that word, on the other side of town, it's like, yeah, as I understand how shit gets split up, I mean, all the really white, well-off, middle-class to upper-class motherfuckers who fucking other men is over there. Not to imply everyone's doing men over there. I get it. Everyone's over there. My implication is on the other side of town that's not the hood, people's doing real well, and so they over there.
All holes are good holes if there's consent.
Anyway.
Let me just say that.
Also, like, I don't like fairy tales because I live in reality. Real people do die. Call it technicality or a mere loss. You was fucking with in the Niners, so you got tossed. Do you realize what I'm saying? Because Frisco show ain't playing, and since I'm down with the motherfucking HRD, best believe this. My whole point is that got like, it feels like it gets really serious. Like, you get a little bit of goofiness, you get a little bit of just banging bravado, but at the end of the day, they're like, y'all think it's like a joke, but it's really not a fucking joke. Like, we're watching our friends and shit die, and I guess there was like that whole sense of it. I also just never thought about San Francisco being gay before, really. Like, none of this crossed my mind before this verse. Honestly, just none of it.
I guess you never watched Milk.
I don't know what that is.
Harvey Milk.
I mean, I know the reputation because, like, Family Guy or whoever will lampoon it, but...
it's like where the Pride Parade started.
It's just, look, anyway, I'm trying to do this while being a little humorous. I know I'm towing the line with this little segment here. A couple bad clips of my voice may be used in the future. That's okay. I enjoyed this song. It isn't my favorite on the album. I think there are many stronger ones. It gets penalized for not being Brass Monkey, but 4.25 on 5.
All right, well, let's go check out More Like an Orgy.
You want to go?
Sure.
It's apparently an orgy on the mountain today. Funnily enough, the lyrics for, like, every song on the album were up online except for this one. That's funny to me that one seemed to... nobody wanted to touch it. So I wrote down some lyrics for y'all to go through. I mean, firstly, though, this beat that...
It's so good.
It just feels like you're about to have sex. Listening to that beat, you know an orgy's about to break out. Like, you feel it. You smell it in the air. You smell Orgy when you hear this song. I mean, I do now, at least.
All right.
I just hear the funky vibe. Like, you can tell that in the back of their mind.
I just, like, imagine people dancing. Like, this is like...
Yeah, what happens after you dance with some fine ladies?
You have an orgy.
Anyway.
Silly me for forgetting.
So this song is the strangest Posse cut. And not Posse, like, cut in the sense of featuring people, but, like, song to shout out your posse or your peeps on that I've ever fucking heard. I didn't write down all their names because it was fucking too much effort. But it's just like, this whole song is just like a day and a story where they end up going to this Momo, I think is the name of the motel. I don't know how to write it. Anyway, and the quick version is everybody comes to the orgy, all the friends, and then as the friends get more important, they show up with a larger number of hoes each.
Maybe that's why they're more important.
And this is such a...
Because they have more ladies.
It's so perplexing, so they got to get crazier and crazier dudes to come through, but they all just keep coming through with more hoes. And that's the song.
What's a guy to do?
And I'm like, there isn't a whole lot of actual sex talk going on in this song. It's mostly just, and then there was Chuck, and Chuck, I'm just giving an example, and Chuck brought 3 ladies. And then later on, as we were starting to fuck him a little bit, Sid comes through, and Sid had 4 ladies. And a couple dudes. Because they're, you know, it's just like, anyway.
A couple of his pals and blah, blah, blah.
So it's like rolling forward deep into something Jeep. Peep out the game, answer my BT. It was my brother named Babe with another babe. Check out the shit my boy had to say. He said he had a few good to go hoes chilling at the something. That's a Momo. I think I had 3 folk and he said something. So I hit the freeway, dude, and said that way. I hit the freeway. And dude said that way. No, I'm going my way, which is the short way. So we arrive at the Momo. I'm like, this is not like, I know I'm skipping a couple of words I couldn't get, but that's actually what the fucking song says. We're in the Jeep going. Boy says, holler at, come over to the hotel. We got some hoes over here. They're good to go variety, meaning DTF, meaning the dick is getting wet. All right. Turns out there are 3 other men in the car with him. On their way over, his homie proposes that we should take that way. He goes, no, I'm driving. We're going my way. It's the short way. And I'm like, I believe that they went to this orgy now. You know why? Because that is the most regular shit ever. That's the kind of details where you had to have been in the car getting a call to go to an orgy. And that dude pissed you off with his stupid ass question. And so you remember that detail. And that's why I believe this song is a true story. Plus, as I've seen the casual connections section of Compton and other hood areas have shown me that it is not implausible to have some shit like this go down in other parts of town that are not so Montreal.
I would like to say that probably based on the fact that at how gay friendly San Francisco is, maybe that allows San Francisco's sex scene to be a little bit more...
You're saying
mixed up.
That the hood on the other side of town.
This is okay in San Francisco because this isn't gay.
Well, it's not gay here, of course, because there
are men there. Because there are men there.
They are outnumbered by women to such a capacity that I don't think there's anything bad happening between these men.
All right.
Anyway, so they arrive at the hotel, met some peeps, and we walk in and see just like, and then like when he says people, he just says like 5 names. Like, I don't know all their names, but he just lists a bunch. And then it's like walked in, see, just like Pimp's G, Dirty Mac like Pimp C, shutting up Pimp C. Then I got a ring from the next dude, asked if he could come through, or maybe he's talking about himself as Pimp C. I think he's talking about Pimp C though. Anyway, then I got a ring from the next dude, asked if he could come through. I said, bring a hoe. So he brought 6 hoes. And I'm like, and it just goes on. Honestly, the rest of the song is just that. And then... Trey, what the fuck are they yelling? And then it cuts in with like straight Gangsta Mac. And I'm like, okay. I really like the way they creatively use these classic sample lines. I think it's actually just brilliant the way they string these things together. Anyway, to give you a sense how the song goes, now people in the back room fucking. I peeped out the window and guess who's coming? These crazy ass homies from another crazy crew. Some horny motherfuckers that heard about it too. This orgy is getting out of control. Dim a bunch of names just like scars, playing hoes with cars and drinking dink with the dicks not hard coming through the door and they make more noise and then we end up with 22 chicks here, okay? I skipped ahead. Because it's just that. Like, listen, the flow's on point and you're just like, doo-doo-doo. You just vibe into it, you're feeling it, you feel it. But honestly, lyrically, it's just like this like itinerary list. Like, this is going to sound like a strange comparison, but it's like the inventory list in the Bible when they just list a bunch of names and shit. And then so-and-so had this name with so-and-so. And that's what this track feels like, except with flow. But my favorite line, and this one really stood out to me, and third verse comes through, shouts to some more people, and then he gets a phone call. They heard the groaning, they heard groan, background moan, now on the phone, all I heard was a dial tone. And that was my favorite lyric on the whole album. It's
like,
just so
it's
like
already on his way over.
just because they heard the orgy going on. I'm like, I like the way y'all do it. I can't say I can get into that lifestyle so simply. It's not like I have full permission for that stuff in my life. But what I am saying is that sounds like a real good night. And that song is so goofy. And the creativity that went into this way of like almost innovating how to shut out your homies in a way that like this doesn't sound misogynistic. Like they're really not trying to have more women there. They keep trying to bring men, and all these men just keep bringing lots of women. There's no disrespect. Everyone's just fucking and having a good time. It's a 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It definitely has like another great beat. The mixing is fantastic on this one. So yeah, I mean, basically just like guys coming through with ladies, you know, ready to bang, and he's basically, you know, telling the story where him and like his three buddies, you know, went to this house and this is what it was. And basically everybody was hooking up and it, you know, was basically an orgy. And, you know, more people show up and they're horny and they want to have sex. And it just is more and more and more just keep showing up. And, you know, mentions different names of people, exactly like what you mentioned. And who is bringing which ladies to have sex with or to provide the ladies for gentlemen. And it's definitely a cool song that you don't hear, you know, this topic, very, you know, covered all that often. You know, just like a fun orgies where you like get together with all your buddies and you're like, you know, banging it out. And then you're like, oh, hey, Jim. Oh, hey, Fred. And, you know, you're just like seeing all your friends while you're, you know, having sex, I guess. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it sounds pretty great. And it's pretty fun. It's original. It's got a great beat to dance to. This is like another street corner, breaking it down now, kind of dancing. I give it a 4.6 on 5.
All right. Well, I think we should move along to, let's be real, this is the song everybody loved. In my opinion, I don't know the truth. Don't give me no Bammer weed. I mean, what else needs to be said?
Don't give them no Bammer weed. Bammer weed.
Smoke that shit up in NDG. That's what I like about this song. You can just put whatever 3-letter acronym you want in there. And
it's good to go.
You're fortunate enough to live in one of those places that ends in an E sound like NDG, SFC. Oh shit, you got a good rhyme going on. I made this song a little bit more fun. What a banger! I don't know what it is about this that makes it such a banger, but like I saw on the internet this shit popped. I see Wiz Khalifa sampled it, and I'm like, I get it. I've been stuck in my head all week. I just be like, don't give me no Bammer weed. We don't smoke that shit in the SFC. I just fucking just want to keep saying it because it makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
What else can I say? It's blunt. Like, it's like...
No pun intended.
Yeah. But it's like, most weed songs are like, I got high, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, if you smoke as much as you say you smoke, you don't get high like that. I'm sorry, you're full of shit. You know what actually sounds relatable? Don't give me no Bammer weed. I need some good shit, because I don't want to waste my fucking time and money. I'm like, that sounds realistic. I appreciate that distinction.
Yep.
What do you think about this song?
I mean, really, it just sounds like they're out and about and they're on the hunt to, purchase some marijuana, and they only want the best of the best. Yeah, they don't want any bammer weed. They don't want like any shit. This is just like another like hype song. Like it definitely has like a great rhythm and a great sound. And like it just sounds like you were driving around in the summer and like you can be listening to it. Like it's kind of like that, got that kind of Snoop Dogg vibe-esque to it a little bit. And like Mr. C uses like his weed to like get his girl by being like, oh, I've got weed or whatever, and get her to like chill, and then presumably I think he does mention it, have sex with her. And there's like, it's just long verses about weed and like encounters and things that happen because of weed. But it's good and it's smooth and it's easy to listen to, and it has a really great beat. And I liked the third verse. That's Mr. C and Black C. Is it gold? Is it green? Is it brown? Brown. No, it's Black C breaking them buds down. Or should I say them Indo clusters? Never want homegrown, 'cause I'm an Indo lover. Trip on the shit on the shit that I say, or go take a trip to go get the shit. D to the A to the N to the K. Blanks know what's up, so what more can I say? I like that. And, he basically says, like, it's better than, like, crack cocaine. So, they are trying to encourage people to use weed, but they are also at the same time encouraging people to steer clear of crack cocaine, which was an epidemic sort of like at that time, and just like persecuted and everything. And it's a bit long because it's like just 6 minutes, 9 seconds, but it's supposed to be.
It's
like
really good length for this song.
Yeah, I mean, it's I imagine it's meant to be played while you're smoking and just enjoyed and like just kind of get lost in and just kind of like
a bit long makes it sound to me like it got long. I'm saying
no,
it's a little too short for my likings because this shit's a banger.
All right. So, anyways, I give it a 4.6 on 5. It is another great one.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. There's skits though on the beginning and the end of it, right? Like you got the beginning part where it adds a little bit of length because he's like, "Yo, I put 5 on it," and then proceeds to go through with that whole situation, and they're like, "Yo, who's got weed?" And I'm like, "Is that how it works?"
Yes.
Here's the thing.
I've
never been in the hood.
I've heard guys just being like, "Anybody have any weed?"
Yeah,
and I've heard people selling it on the street, like being like, "Got some weed? You want some weed?"
I've seen that shit in like specific and ethno background parties. I'm saying in the middle of the fucking hood, is that really how it goes down? I don't know. That's not a part of life I'm witness to. And then he's like, "Man, what you need?" He's like, "Man, I need a dank right, straight right. I can't fuck with none of those that light that shit that float. Man, all I hear is bammer." And then he comes in, he's like, "No, don't give me no bammer weed." And then it just kicks in. And then what I love about this song is it has that flow, that little pause flow I was describing. And it's just so simple, like 3, 2, 1, coming in with a bang. It's too dark skin, not a motherfucking gang. Pimps with limbs, never knowing as Sims. We smoke dank, not the bammer shit. Damn, that bammer ain't no good. You might as well get some rolled up wood. And I'm like, this really just is a song about like, fuck your bad weed. I got good weed. I knew a girl named Brenda. Smoking that bammer was her everyday agenda. She used to laugh and giggle until Mr. C moved next to her building. I tried to get her, but she acted kind of shy, so I shared my dank. I got her real high. She invited me up to my room, and for you bitches, honey boom, honey boom. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, it's really not like, what am I supposed to analyze here? It's so fucking blunt and straight to the point. But what I can say is that, like, the way they rhyme it, the way they give that energy, like, she invited me to her room, and for you bitches, honey boom, like, you know what the fuck he means, and he said honey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so goofy. It just shouldn't make sense. Anyway, but it does, and it works, and it's hard. And he goes, with Frisco people, we're not punks. You put guts in our way, and they're gonna get bucked. And now I know that they are gonna buck the guts, which when you get up in her guts is called bucking. Anyway, it's pretty good. It's fun. It's basically saying if you smoke the Reggie, you're gonna get fucked up by a dude who's gonna give you the dank shit. Anyway, second verse is the same shit. Honestly, like, don't give me no bammer joint. It's the Black Sea. Getting straight to the point. I was chilling outside on a hot day. It was me, Emma. Just check what I say. Let's fade. Let's go get a dank, man. They'll fade. I'm like it's so goofy. It's just so regular. It's just so normal. And I guess that's almost the point. There's nothing grandiose about this. All of these verses are just regular fucking guys doing regular fucking guy stuff.
Yep.
The whole way through this album. And that's what makes me actually love the energy. This shit is Oasis in fucking hip-hop form. Like early Oasis, that's what they... No, early Oasis before they got rich in cocaine. Like the first album.
Okay.
I don't know how much you know about Oasis, but they don't start off who they are. They're actually considered like down-to-earth, working-class hero, Beatlesy guys. And then cocaine. Then you're getting some over-the-top shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, get up to date on your Oasis knowledge. You guys, do you like Oasis? Let us know in the comments. Anyway, Black Sea and Mr. Seed both do the third verse. You do that first part. There's nothing else for me to cut in through. It's just fine.
Yeah.
It's just good. They're like, just like, you know, find a cut and just go zerp in the shade. And like, meat belongs to a meal. Grab a 40 with a dank because it's time to get ill. And I'm like, I wonder if that lyric is gonna like age poorly over time. Like if the vegans win the war, then that lyric is bad. I mean, I believe meat belongs to a meal myself. Not that like it has to be, but most of my meals with meat feel better than my meals without meat. That's my 2 cents on the subject.
See, I don't need to have meat all the time.
That's cool. Anyway, I love this track. I think it's real good. Oh shit, I forgot there's a fourth verse. It just keeps going. But here's the thing. It's not like it ever got bad to me. Where's the part where they do the alphabet count? That was fucking great. I don't remember where it is. But at some point, they do like an alphabet business. I'm just scanning the lyrics for a quick second. A, B are named C, and you gotta pause for when you get to the D. D for dank, D for drank, but not D for the dope that's stank in my bank. I don't know. I love the little shits like that. That was in the second verse. These just little hooks, and they changed it up a little bit enough to make it so that by the time you are at the end of it, and you're listening to them talking about zigzags, so we can roll a fat one and taking a drag, and then calling out, you know, Mr. Hammer, MC Hammer, shit ain't proper. The person who said sold it to you gotcha. Basically like associating Bammer weed with like MC Hammer. I felt like a little bit of a little shot there.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that. I know that MC Hammer is scary in real life. I digress. I just really enjoyed listening to this. It's pretty strong. It is truly one of the best songs on this album, in my opinion. It is one that I actually could see myself listening to for years to come. Like, this is one of those times the song has really like hit me in a way where I'm like, there's lots of times I'm gonna throw this song. Like, all of my white friends are about to hear this song and they don't know it. They've never heard it, but they're gonna be hanging out. I'm gonna like, oh, you know, they're gonna come to like maybe pass something. I'm gonna pull up my phone and I'm gonna hit play and playing this song at them. It's got so many moments in my life. It's so fucking good. I guess a 5 on 5. It is like an excellent banger of times. All right, so I feel like the next one is interesting because it's like they did the same thing they did in this track, but they switched the subject matter to
bitches on the ding dong.
Like, I wasn't kidding. I mean, it's the same fucking shit, except now we're just talking about like a kudos to the bitches hanging from my ding dong. And you know what? To all the women in my life, the one that's hanging onto my ding dong sometimes when I'm well behaved, kudos. This one's to you. It's Mr. C on the microphone. You know, a gangster like me can never go wrong. Do I know that, Mr. C? Do I know that?
He's letting you know.
I mean, you're letting me know, but I didn't know that, and you're acting like I should know it. But however, maybe the local cats knew that, so it was a fair thing. Bitches see, feel they need, are on my jock as if they was greedy for my dick or my motherfucking ding dong, whatever you want to call it. It's still going on. He can't go wrong because his penis is a highly coveted object upon which the women just seriously want his dick of all the dicks.
It's a difficult situation to be in, I'm sure.
You say eat my out. I'm pulling out your Jadas, your extensions. Fuck, I hate to mention a bitch like you. Shit, I trying to lynch you. Did he just threaten to lynch her with his dick for proposing to eat the pussy? Like, he's that adverse to the cunnilingus that he's pulling out your extensions.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to get her coochie licked. Man, the
That's
fragility of male ego sometimes. Like, I don't know what part of culture was like, you're less of a man for eating pussy. But that's a sad world to live in. That's a sad world to live in. You eat the pussy, you get rewarded, like, way better. It's basic psychological, like, ways of playing shit, right? Like, it's just basic. I don't know.
I guess that's what happens when you got bitches on the
And he's strangling her with his dick. I'm
As
sorry.
you do.
How big is your dick, dog? Now you're just a liar. If your dick was that big, you biologically couldn't stand the fuck up. Dudes with like 12-inch cocks can barely fuck standing up. Google that shit. It's not even a blessing to have that monster a cock. All you guys in the comments, I have a giant dick, and I'm gonna call you a liar. Anyway.
And I'll just call you.
Sure. Anyway, and then the chorus is "Stay off my dick," and then this goes out to the bitches that's hanging from my ding dong. And then the second verse is really fun. I really enjoyed the flow. Like, yes, me, the BLACKC, coming straight out of the diggity HRD. Young punk, you better get back. You suck a new jack before you get sprayed by the black young Chris, a motherfucking factor. And when the sun go down, a straight jacker. And you're like, okay. That none of this really feels like it has anything to do with the ladies hanging on his ding dong. It just feels like, yo, I'm the real one coming from the hood. You know what's good. Fair enough. Have you ever been in this fucking situation? So is this a fucking situation as in a situation upon which I am fucking in? Or is it a fucking situation, like a situation that is like preemptively enhanced with the word fucking? I'm not really sure. It's a conundrum.
Yep.
When a bitch start pumping on her motherfucking menstruation, what does that mean?
When she's having sex when she's on her period.
Like, did you know beforehand? Like, that's a crucial detail. If you knew beforehand, I don't know where you're going with this. If it just started happening, come on, dude. Understand biology. Anyway, punk trick, you popping through them no-dos trying to play me out like a bitch named Yo-Yo. And I'm like, what did Yo-Yo do? I like Yo-Yo. Isn't she that cool one that fussed with Ice Cube and shit? Did she have sex with men on their like menstruation? Is this like a thing? What am I missing? People, I can't Google this. Yo-Yo's albums are fucking buried. There is so little information out there. Give me the deets. What the fuck happened with Yo-Yo and menstruation sex?
Well, I mean, she's a lady. From time to time, she may get her period. And if she has sex while she's on her period, so be it.
But, like, was that a thing with Yo-Yo in particular? Anyway, or should I say a ho, though? I'll manipulate your rips and wrap it about my ding-dong. Or should I say my King Kong? And that's when I knew he didn't even have 6 inches round or 7 inches long. What a fucking weird-shaped dick. 6 inches long? Are you fucking daft? Of course your dick's not that long. Round. Like, come on. 7 inches long? What a bizarre flex. And what?
It's like a bottle.
Right, but like, what a 12 inches long.
Around. I don't know how
a
many
12-inch dick
I
is.
feel like it would be like this.
It would be like big, but what I'm
I feel
saying
like it would
is,
be uncomfortably
why
too big.
are you making it 7 inches long? You're describing your magical dick
Huge.
here. Your
So just
King
go,
Kong
like,
dick.
12 inches. Just
Give
go
it a
further.
good number. 7 inches? Like, come on. That's that's slightly above average length. Men in the Congo are beating you by an inch, dog. All the averages are out around the world. What's really cool is Israelis beat Americans. Why? I don't know. I just thought it would be nice.
All right.
Anyway, there's a whole third verse. It's fine. There's some more girls that they fucked and it's fine. I did like the term "so I could bust a nut and wax that fanny." I enjoyed the sound of that. I can't say that there's like anything more to this except that like it's fun. It is just so fucking fun to listen to this. It's so airy, and the way they do this shit it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. I give it a 4.35. There is a little bit of by the end of this, you're like, okay, it isn't quite the Bammer Weed song, but it's pretty damn in the vein of it.
Yep.
So 4.35.
I agree. I mean, really, like, nicely done on all parts of this song. It is a well composed song, and like their voices are super smooth, and like the whole like mixed beat is awesome. Like every bit of it, everything that like comes together is just like fantastic. So like them like your DJ's whack, and like can't shake some of the girls because they just want his dick, and like, you know, he may not even be interested in these ladies, but they are interested in him, or at least a part of him. And so I mean, I could see, like, you know, it's hard to give up a good one, you know. So even if it's just like, you know, if you're just like single and you're just banging it out and you need like some guy on call, you know,
I'll take it.
yeah.
That's right, a good one. Doesn't get rid of it 6 years in.
Yeah.
So you know it's a good one.
Yep. So anyways, okay, Mr. Shoulders. So yeah, and like I have no issue with like Black Sea had a girl on his period, but it's just like funny that he's like, has anybody else experienced this before? Is this just me, or do girls do this? I don't know. Like, it just kind of sounds like that. Like, it's just kind of like, yes, that happens from time to time, and
some people just
you
straight
should
up,
just be thankful that you're getting
some
that.
people
at
straight
all.
up enjoy the action. Okay, some people love it. They just some apparently to get into the Hells Angels bikers group, you have to perform cunnilingus on your partner whilst that particular menstruation thing is going down. Just throwing it out there. The Hells Angels
That's
think
a
it's
stupid
manly.
thing. All right, if that's what they want to do. Okay, better than beating someone. So
They also are apparently supposed to commit an act of.
yeah, I figured there was more to it than just, you know, eat this lady's vagina.
However, one of those two things I bet men would do quicker than the other.
Not all men. Probably other men would go to the other thing. But anyways,
Not as many.
it has a good beat. It's goofy. It's fun. It's cute. I give it a 4.4 on 5.
Fantastic. So that brings us to the end of part 1. And why I'm saying fantastic, it's fucking hot in here.
So
And
hot.
honestly, it's
like
hard.
40 degrees
So
in
if you think this one's been a little off, yeah,
whatever it
it's
is in
real. It's
Fahrenheit.
real hot. So yeah, we're looking forward to the heat wave breaking in a couple of days, because it's like days in a fucking row of this heat. Yo, we really like the album so far. Thank you, Carl, for requesting it.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you think about anything so far. Feel free to like add to the story, because this is gonna come out before we probably record part 2. So if you do see this, you want to correct something, etc., etc., let us know when you had the opportunity to do that. At least I read everything. I'll answer you. Like the video if you felt it. Dislike the video if you didn't feel it. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews and shit. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Proud, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda William, Scribble, Carl, the dope support we do. Carl got us to do this album review, and if you like this format and who we are, what we're all about, you can support us up on that Patreon. I make music myself. I have a track dropping the day after this video is probably gonna come out, like the day after. You guys can watch that little music video. It's a whole music video. She filmed it. I helped film part of this one. Yeah. And then we got to edit it. And that's cool. So you can check it out and show love. Plus, it'll be on all your favorite streaming platforms and
All
whatever.
of them.
Anyway, this is the end, my friend. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Peace, guys.